So today I felt like talking about the weapons in Bloodborne. I mean, they look awesome, but they're shit in a practical situation. So let's start with the saw cleaver. Is it a practical weapon? Very shortly, no. I mean, you've got those teeth on one side, which makes it a saw, and the other side, which is a curved, well, cleaver in the extended position. It's amazing. But I mean, first of all, the teeth. The teeth are just going to get stuck in things. That's absolutely not what you want in a weapon with a setting that emphasizes speed and dexterity and maneuverability and wow, getting away very quickly. I mean, if you're going to cut down a cleric beast, or any beast at all that's even slightly stronger than you are, if you hit it with the teeth and those things are just going to get stuck in its leg, you can't get away after that. I mean, you can expect that beast to give you a whack on the head once you've poked it with those little teeth. He's not gonna like that. He's gonna want you to get the fuck away from him or kill you, and he'll just give you a great big wallop across the head because you can't get away in time because your teeth, your weapon, is stuck in the beastie's leg. That doesn't work. That's stupid. What you want is to get in very quickly, give him a great big wallop, and be on your merry way as quick as possible. You can't do that if those teeth are stuck in the beastie's leg. I mean, of course a cleaver would work, because then you've just got a great big cutting blade with which you can just, I don't know, dismember the beast you're trying to fight. That would work. You can just get in very quickly while passing the monster by or while evading the blow. You can just slack him across the arm or the leg or whatever. His arm falls off and you're done. That monster is greatly incapacitated and you are out of reach of the monster again because you roll really far. So yeah, the cleaver is in theory a good idea, only it's way too big to actually be usable. It's like a hunk of steel this size. And in game it looks to be about 7 centimeters thick, about 5 maybe 2 inches. That's fucking heavy. You can't swing that around if your life depended on it, which it does, especially in the extended position, which means you've got a handle of about 70 centimeters and a blade of about 70 centimeters, which is really fucking heavy. I can't lift that. Nobody can, I think. They actually made a replica of it with men-at-arms. I don't think they really were capable of lifting it all that well either. And they're smiths. They bang heavy hammers around all day. I don't do that. I'm not gonna be able to do that. Well, the saw cleaver then. I did actually bang hammers around all day once. I didn't like it, but I could do it. And then we have the hunter axe. An axe is in theory a good idea because you get the idea of a cleaver almost. You can just get in, grave a great big wallop, dismember something and get the fuck out. That's fine. Only the hunter axe is huge. That thing is going to probably weigh more than the cleaver and you can't even lift the cleaver. So how the hell are you going to lift the axe? It's cool. You're not gonna be able to lift that thing, let alone fight speedily with it. But yeah, in principle, a great big axe is a good idea, especially when you're fighting bigger opponents. And finally, what is the other weapon you get in the beginning? Oh, it's a neighbor. Oh, I remember. It's the threaded cane. I didn't just look it up or anything at all. No. So yeah, the threaded cane. It's essentially just a sharpened stick. Which is fine. I mean, sharpened sticks are very well suited for fighting. Think of quarterstaff or single stick, I suppose, or spears, just, or even something like a rapier. But do you really want that when you're fighting monsters? I mean, unless you kill them in the first hit, they're not even going to feel that you've stabbed them all that well. They're practically on cocaine all the time. That I imagine blood to feel something like cocaine. I mean, it makes you euphoric and it makes you, well, highly energized and all that kind of good shit. So cocaine comes fairly close, I think. Only with a very bloodthirsty undertone, I suppose. When you're on that, you're going to need to do a lot of damage if you want to stop a beast or anything in its tracks and stop it from killing you. You can't do that when you've just poked someone with a stick. That doesn't work. No. And it shows in game also, one of the attacks I think is that you just hit the person with the stick. I mean, is it sharpened? I don't know. It just looks like a normal cane. So hitting a beast with a stick, I suppose it's fairly heavy, but still. Why? That's not gonna work. And the transformed position is absolutely useless. I mean, you just wave it around a bit, and it transforms into all those little segments, all these little blade segments. What good is that gonna do? Like I said, all these people are constantly on cocaine, essentially. You're just going to whip someone in the face with those tiny shards of metal. It's just going to make them really fucking angry. It's not gonna make them, oh no, my face hurts. I'm gonna stop trying to hit you now. They're on cocaine and they're trying to kill you. They get hit in the face, they just want to kill you even more. That doesn't work. If you hit someone in the face, you want it to cut it in half and again, be on your merry way. You know, the Hunter Axe could work in a slightly modified version. I think a long pole weapon is a good idea when you're fighting large opponents. Especially if they're stronger than you and faster and everything. So you want a long weapon with which you have some reach to make up for the size difference. And you want something with which you can move fairly quickly, so you don't want it to be very heavy. And also something that you can... yeah, that does a lot of damage, essentially. So, a pole weapon would be a very good idea. You can generate a lot of force with a very long shaft. And an axe blade is a good idea, because you can just chop very effectively with it. So, what would you come up with? I would go for something like a poleaxe. A poleaxe is essentially a essentially a spear about the same height as the person using it, with a spike at the top, the spear point, and at the side it has an axe blade. Wait a sec. A poleaxe is essentially this, only except for the spike it would have something like an axe blade or something like that, and a spike at the top to poke people with, and an hammer and a hammer face for smashing people in the helmet or armor or anything. Of course that applies less in Bloodborne, but would probably still be useful for maximum ponage. But then you have the reach of the extended Hunter Axe, which is amazing, but it's not so fucking heavy and you can still do the same amount of damage. The cutting edge won't be significantly smaller. If you know how to use the weapon, you'll still be able to hit the other thing. Or, what I came up with for my own Bloodborne costume, I actually do still want a poleaxe, but what I came up with initially is a sort of saber. This is the Zombie Tools Decapitan. Zombie Tools is a company that makes all kinds of swords in a zombie apocalypse kind of setting. So, seems fitting for Bloodborne. And it looks that way. I wanted a weapon ever since I saw Bloodborne in the style of Bloodborne, and this works fairly well, I think, for an actually usable weapon. Yeah, this thing almost feels like a great big machete. It's essentially a cutlass, which is the kind of weapon you usually associate with pirates and all those kinds of marine animals. Feels like a great big chopper, which it essentially is. Except you've got a really long, really sharp cutting edge, which is perfect. I mean, this is essentially the saw cleaver. It's about the same length. Only it's not so great big and fucking heavy, and it doesn't have those weird little teeth that get stuck in everything. With this thing, you can just evade a blow, cut into it, and get the fuck out of there. And thanks to the fact that this is a very effective chopper, you'll do a lot of damage in a very short amount of time, and in a relatively short movement, and you're good to go. The beast lost a hand, You've still got your weapon. You didn't have to leave it behind in the leg of the other person. And you can still get the fuck out and you're safe and everything. Yay! Fun. A good dagger is always useful. So I suppose that was it. Thank you all for watching. If you have any ideas for new videos, let me know. I may be able to do something with them. Want me to sing a song? You want me to sing a song?